back. So we are going to continue from where we stopped. And if you remember our first lesson, we mentioned some things. We made mention of the theme, the plugins, and all the things. They are like building blocks of what you want to do. So now, the first thing when you have your WordPress installed, this is what you're going to be having. You're going to have, as at the time of this video, we have 6.82 version of WordPress. So over here, if you have other plugins, all your updates will appear. So you can see that we don't really have any updates currently. So all our plugins, all our themes are up to date. Then we have over here, we have the post. If you are running a blog post or a blog website, this is where all your posts will be listed. So if you want to add a new post, if you want to create a category, or if you want to create tags, maybe our subsequent courses or classes, we might have to explain how you can separate content or post based on using category. If you want to add a new post, if you click on add a post, you can click here, or you can click the other one as well. So over here, you can add your title, you can add your title block, you can add your details, you can add your advanced, you can add your background, you can add your feature image, you can add more details. This is where you can add your feature image. Feature image is like the tag for the post. Also, let's go back to our dashboard. So we have categories. Under categories, you can select which category does it belong to. Let's say you're trying to run a blog post, then you have one for blog, you have one for you have another one for your gallery, or you have another one for your latest news. You can separate it using categorization and also tags. We also have media. This is where all your images are going to be populating, all your details. So if you want to add a new media, let's say you want to add a new media, and you click on drop file, you can navigate to the location of where you want to. So I want to upload this background, I can just click on it and it's going to upload. So when whichever background that you install, you can see it is a transparent background, but every element that you has a URL that you can see. You can download your file, you can delete. So this is where all your media files will appear. Then we have pages. You're still going to be going. So the default is your privacy policy, so to know that all data is being shared on your website is secured. Then we have the sample page. So if you want to add a new page, you can add from here, or you can also add from here. Our next class, we are going to be creating a page after we've installed our plugin, so that we can work on the landing page. This is what we are going to be working on. So we are going to be creating something like this. But we are going to turn a Figma design into a website. So we have a comment. If you are running a blog post and all your comments, whenever people post comment under the post, all your comments will appear here. Then we have appearance. Then I made mention of you having appearance. This is where you had your theme. So if you want to add a theme, you can click on add a new theme. If you have your own designated theme, you can click on upload theme and add it. So, but in this course, we are going to be using Astra. In the next class, I'll show you how you can install and activate it. Then we have our theme editor. This place, unless you know what you're doing, or you are familiar with the things that you want to do, you can make changes. Also, when we install our plugin, which is the Astra, when we install our theme, which is the Astra theme, the editor, there's something they call theme editor. If you're familiar with the PHP language, you can edit it and customize it to your liking. So then we have plugins. Plugins are like, I made mention of having themes as like the building blocks. Then the plugins are what makes it responsive. Let's say you have a house, then the plugin is like, oh, this is the door, this is the window. That is how the plugin works. A plugin are the building, what interact with the building block, which is the theme. So all our plugins, if you want to add a new plugin, you can click on this, or you can also navigate from here. All the plugins that we are going to be using it over here. So we are going to be using Elementor for our next class. You are going to be using WP forms or other forms that we are familiar with. But in the scope of this course, all the plugins that we are going to be using is going to be free. So you don't have to use any paid plugins. Then you have users. So this is the admin. This is the one that we created. So if you want to add another user, you can add as much as user, and you can also change the permission settings. So we have the user, we have the email, you can set someone as a subscriber by default subscriber, but this is admin. We have access to all the details, all the dashboard, all the posts. But as a subscriber, you can limit what they want, what they have access to. A subscriber can be someone that, okay, you have a page, you want to restrict it. You only want people that have access to the website should be able to, when they log in, they should be able to see the content. So you can use subscriber. Then you can have contributor. Let's say you're running a blog post, like I said, or like an e-commerce website, and you want them to have access to a certain element. The same thing with authors. Let's say you're running a blog post, or editor as well. So that is how it is. Then you can, the username, this is required, the email is required, the first name and last name, all those ones. Then we also have the tools. This is the element or the information of the website. So if you want to import other elements, so let's say you have a WordPress, you want to install it, you have thumbnail. There's also another one that we call a demo content. If you are using a plugin or a website or a template that has a demo content, whereas you're trying to import it, it will appear here. So once you install it, you have a demo content. Once you install the demo content, you are able to upload all the details of the website. So all you have to do is just edit it with this. And then we have export. If you want to export, let's say you're migrating from one section to another, or you have a website that you're migrating, or you're working on another staging environment and you need element of this, so you can export your element and you ensure that all the details of this element aligns with the other one. So we have the site health. This is where you can see the status of your website. You can see, okay, what are the configuration. Then under status, you can see the information. So this one, so you can, if you check, remember all our settings, so you can see, okay, this is the version, this is the site, the language that we selected. If you check directory, you can see where the location, where is saved on your website, on your desktop, which is localhost. Then the active theme, which one are you using? All the themes that are not active. Then your server. Over here, you can see that we have input size, we have 4000 PHP, we have time limit, we have memory limit, maximum input time, maximum upload. So if there are some website, let's say you buy your domain and it is limited, this upload file size, you might have to configure it on the server. So, but by default, local WP sets it up to like 300 megabytes where you can upload your details. So then we have our memory limit. Sometimes it depends on the traffic that you have on your website. You can increase it to 512 or maybe 1000 and something or more. So this is what we have. Then the database connection, you can see that we are using MySQL and the server version, the local, which is root WP. Remember in our previous class, we had to create root for the XAMPP. So, but this one, the local WP was able to create everything that we want. So also we have export personal data. So let's say you have a particular user that you want to export their details, or you want to erase a user, you maybe one of your users violated the terms and conditions of your website. You can erase the details. Then this is the one I made mention of, which is the theme file editor. You can see you get a pop-up. You appear to be making direct edits to your theme in WordPress dashboard. It is recommended. Editing your theme directly could break your site and your changes may be lost in future update. If you need to tweak more than your theme CSS, you might want to make a child theme. So this one, for you to go through it, you have to have a prior knowledge, or you need to know what you're doing, because it can disrupt your website. So we have you have your theme functions, you have your asset, you have your CSS, you have your details. But this one, you don't even need to touch it. You don't even need to touch it. You can touch it, but you don't even need to touch it, because the way it is structured, you can do everything from the dashboard. So we also have our plugin file editor. Like I said, we have themes. This one is the theme file editor. We have the plugin. So we don't have any plugin. That's why it's not appearing. Also, we have our settings. So we are going to be using this setting because you remember this is our site. So if you have a tagline, if you hover on it, you're on settings. Can you see introduction to WordPress? So if you had something, then your site icon, you can see this WordPress icon there. We can change our site icon to appear in a different. Then this is the URL. It does not have SSL. That's why we don't have S. So this is HTTP. Then you can set it. Anyone can register, and only people that have access to it. And the default rule when people register, do you want it to be admin or so on and so forth. Also, we have the writing. Under this writing, you have details like your post category. Is it uncategorized? Do you have a particular post you want it to be at default? Then you want to post format. Is it standard? Your email, your server email, your login, and all that details. Then we have reading. We are going to be using reading because initially, if you click on this and you navigate to a new page, let's say you open it in a new tab, you can see that it's a blog post. But when we are creating a page, we want to use a static page as our home page and maybe our post page to be a certain one. We are going to be explaining this in our next class. So we have discussions. Over here, you can see you can attempt to notify any blog links to some posts, allow link notification from other blog posts, and so on and so forth. And other comment must fill out. Maybe you want people, whenever they want to put out a comment, they fill their name also, or they can just put any comment without adding their name. Then we have this media. Like I said, we have a thumbnail size. This is the default. You can increase it, you can change it. Then we have the medium, we have the large. This is box, which is all these ones are box, but the quality of it will be different. If you're using 150 pixels, it's not going to be as clear as having 1024 and so on. But you can see organize my upload in month and year. If you want it to be scattered, maybe in a year. But this is better so that you can track, because let's say you have a file being uploaded in a certain location and there is a correction there. You can always go into your server and edit it from your file manager. Then the next one is the permalinks. So by default, so there are some websites, where you're hosting it from, you can have a plain website. So, but the best one that I make use of is the post name, because so now if you're using the plain, every page has its own unique ID. You can see that you have p dot something or something, but that's not what we want. But if you're using the post name, if you create homepage, it will be / homepage. If you create about us, it might be introduction to WordPress / about us, which is the post name. Can you see sample post? This one numeric. Let's say you have archive this so number. That is it. Then we have the privacy, which shows your privacy policy. Which element? Our privacy policy is not published yet, but this is where you set it. So then we have the last one, which is you can collapse your element for you to have more sections to work. So this is the interface of WordPress. And also you have this one over here where you can edit your details. You can edit your profiles. You can change your password. You can change your password. You can see you can change your password. You can set new password. But you don't need to do any of this, or you can also play around with what you want to, so that you can have an overview of what you'll be working with. So this is all you need to know about introduction to WordPress and the interface of WordPress. If you have any other question, you can leave it in the comment section. In our next class, we are going to be talking about how we can install our theme and how we can install our plugins and all the plugins that we are going to be using for this particular project. Thank you, and see you in the next class.
Thank you for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons. Also turn on your notifications so you get notified whenever we post new content, and kindly share. See you in the next video.